guys, this is Ashley and I hope you're doing really well today. So I wanted to pause and talk about just the value of being present in the moment that we're in. And I feel like we rob ourselves of just having so much peace and happiness by being super fixated on the future moments to come. So the other day I was having a conversation with my husband. This is why all of this kind of sparked for me. And I was kind of thinking about something to come in the future, and I was like, what about this, or what about this? And then I was like, wait a minute, I need to just be present right now. Like, I'm so fixated on what's to come and all the details and all of that I'm not truly focusing on this moment that I'm in and the legit beauty of the moment that I'm living in right now. I thought about moments that I feel most at peace, and those moments look like going on a vacation. Like, I love to travel, and I was like, why do I have so much peace when I'm traveling? And what I realized was that I'm so present when I'm traveling. I'm barely using my phone. I'm not looking at anyone else's life. I am very intentional about whoever I'm with, focusing on them, whatever I'm doing. Are we hiking? Are we seeing something new? Just taking everything in and living present in that moment. And I realized that's why I have so much peace while I'm traveling. And I was like, I want to start creating these experiences in my just everyday life. So I'm gonna share a couple things that I noticed that I'm already doing that can aid me in this journey, and some things I'm kind of adding into my routines and habits to make sure that we're just being present. Come along, let me share a couple things that I'm gonna be doing. Grab your tea, grab whatever you need, and let's chat. Something that gives me a lot of peace and allows me to be a lot more present is just accepting the things that I don't know and enjoying life as it unfolds. I feel like when we get into this bag or the space of really wanting to predict what's going to happen in the future of those things that are outside of our control, that is when fear and anxiety and worry and doubt and so many negative emotions start to creep in. But when we just pause and think about life as it is right now and how much we are enjoying the moment that we're living in right now, or figuring out the joys that we can pull out of those moments that we're in right now, that is where there's so much more peace. So for me, I've been kind of trying to push myself lately to enjoy the moment that I'm in without trying to be hyper focused on future moments that are legit outside of my control. And that has allowed me to live in a lot, just live with more peace. And it's constant. When I say these things are things that I do, but I'm still learning how to do them every day and implement them every single day. This whole being present thing is not easy for me. I realized that in order to be present in this moment, I can't keep trying to predict the future and allow worries of the future to affect my today. So that has been something I try to constantly remind myself of. So allowing myself to feel whatever feeling may come up in that moment, but then just trying to circle back, find that balance, remind myself of the present moment I'm in, the joys of the moment that I'm in, the gratitude that I have for the moment that I'm in, and really become fixated on where I am now. Because thinking about things in the future that are outside of my control are only going to cause me to have anxiety, fear, doubt, worry, things that I don't want to feel, the negative feels that I don't want to feel. It's also so important to be intentional about not living a super hurried life. I feel like being busy is glamorized nowadays, and that's not something I want. And I was thinking about this, and I really felt the need to slow down a little bit more. So I'm getting into recognizing the importance of just having a super productive schedule and day, so that way it can create time for those down moments and rest. But if I'm not being as productive as I can be, then that creates for me to just feel busy and behind on the tasks that I want to get done. So that's where I'm at, of just calendar blocking, sticking to it, creating space and time for self on the calendar. Moments that I do close my computer and not feeling like I have to work all through the night. And I'm kind of in this season where I am trying to grind in a lot of ways. So I've been trying to find that balance between working, pushing myself and working hard, and still creating space and time for self. So that way I'm not feeling super hurried and rushed and super busy at every single moment of the day, like creating those small pockets of downtime. Now I also do it like even in the middle of the day. Like if I am working, I'm not working through my lunch break. Like something that small makes a difference. Like I'm closing my computer, I'm going to a completely different space. Where I work at, there is a space to work like on the rooftop or go to the rooftop and kind of get a breath of fresh air. So sometimes I will go and do something like that, or I'll just not eat in the same location that I'm working at, like find a little nook or spot that I can go and eat at really quickly. Or not quickly, I'm still having a hard time accepting all of this, but eat my lunch and also create time on the calendar for it as well. So creating small shifts in my schedule every single day, so that way I don't feel like I'm living this super hurried and busy life. Like I want to just have more moments of stillness. Like that's the goal here, more moments of stillness. Another thing that creates so much peace for me is going out in nature. I feel like when I'm outside, I am so present. Like I'm intentional about like, what do I hear? What do I see? Like walks are everything for me, and more than walks are hikes. So walking through the woods, essentially. We went on a hike not too long ago. There is a bamboo forest in Atlanta that we had never visited, but it was the most peaceful hike that I've been on in a very long time, because you walk alongside a stream, a river, some body of water. I'm guessing it's a river. Yeah, I think it's a river. And you walk alongside it, and essentially you are just walking along the water. You see the water like moving and you're paying attention to it, and then you end up like you walk a couple miles and you hike up and you see this beautiful bamboo forest. And I just remember leaving and I was telling Christian, I was like, I'm so at peace right now. And as I think about it, it's because I was just so still. Like I didn't have cell service, so I'm not paying attention to my phone. I'm not talking to anyone else except for the person that I'm with, or with Christian is who I was with. And I'm just so present. So going out in nature is something that really has been helpful for me, and I'm gonna continue to do. I'm gonna try to start to do more hikes now that it is warming back up a little bit in Georgia. So I'm excited about it, and I know it's very helpful for me. Next up is resting really deeply. So this has been something I've been working a lot on. I know that when I rest deeply, I feel refreshed, I feel better the next day. So I'm not just thinking about like, oh, I can't wait till this day's over so I can get in bed and lay back down. Like that is not something that I want. So I want to rest deeply that night before. Essentially the routine is something that I'm really trying to solidify. What feels good for me at night, what bedtime feels good for me at night, just really being intentional about like how many hours I need of sleep, trying not to just fall asleep on the couch. That has been something I've been struggling with lately, like falling asleep. This couch is just so cozy and comfortable. Falling asleep on the couch, TV is playing, and I just feel like my mind is not at rest when I sleep this way. But when I do tell my mind like, hey, this is our bedtime routine, like this is our nighttime routine, this is what we're doing, let's settle down, have a cup of tea that evening, that is when I feel the most rested and rejuvenated and ready the next day. So resting deeply, so that way I'm not just focusing on like, okay, I can't wait for this day to be over because I'm so tired. So that is a big one that I'm trying to work a lot more on. Next up is taking inventory in our lives. When we pause and really evaluate our life, it allows us to be so much more present. So if we have some stressors that are just built up that we're not talking about, that are there, then we're so focused on like the future moment of how's this gonna turn out, or what's gonna happen, or what can I do, or what needs to be done differently, or the past of like, I can't believe this happened, or oh my goodness, like how am I gonna get through this? And we're not focused on the present. So that's why it's so important for me to just reevaluate what are the things coming up for me, what's draining my energy right now, what's adding to it, what shifts do I need to make, like in what ways can I find some type of just peace in my life by looking at all of these areas and doing everything that I can. If it's a stressor, okay, I need to talk about it in therapy. If it's something that's draining me, can I shift? Am I giving it too much of my time every single day? Can I get help for it? What can I do? That is something that I have found to be helpful before, and something I really want to like hone in on in this season as well. Ultimately, y'all, my goal is just to be present. Enjoy the moment I'm in. I will never get this moment again in my life, and I don't want to I don't want to have a regret in the future and say, man, life was so good back then. Like, I just want to live in the good life that I'm living right now, and not saying every single thing and day is perfect, but there are so many great and amazing things that I have going on in my life to be grateful for. And I think we all have something to be grateful for. So trying to remain in a heart posture of having a lot of gratitude and being present in this very moment that I'm in. If you want to watch some more content from me, then go back and watch my last video, and I will see you guys next week for a new video. Bye guys.